Hello everyone, and welcome to Board Game Bits, a show where we talk about weekly board game news. This week, we talk about these 5 topics, and I really hope that was 5 or this would be incredibly embarrassing. Anyway, fans complain about messy Dark Souls RPG rulebook, Viticulture gets a co-op expansion, Kickstarter Hereafter takes place in D&D's Afterlife, Shut Up and Sit Down organizes a SHUX convention, and Tiny Epic Vikings on its way to Kickstarter. Fans complain about messy Dark Souls RPG rulebook. Chances are, you've heard of From Software's hit trilogy Dark Souls, the game that spawned a whole genre of video games known as Souls-likes. FromSoft may have reached peak popularity with their smash hit Elden Ring, which was even co-written by Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin. So you can imagine how excited people were about the Dark Souls RPG. A series as packed to the brim with intriguing lore as Dark Souls is overflowing with potential. Well, don't just prepare to die, prepare to be disappointed. Reddit is being overflooded by people complaining about how poorly the book is written. They seem to agree specifically with Mark Hogan. He notes that the whopping 500 pages are padded quite a bit with unnecessary spacing and design that seems to be intended to make the whole thing longer than it has to be. He compares this to a college essay, of which the student stretches a 3 pages paper to 4 pages with spacing, font, and other tricks. You've all done this. Then he points out that the way information conveyed is poor, commenting specifically on the box text and how they confuse reading order. There's also a pretty extensive Google Doc filled with errors, typos, and inconsistencies. The points are short and concise, but the document is no less than 11 pages, way more than my college essays. Viticulture gets co-op expansion. On the Stonemaier Games website, the publisher announces that winemaking worker placement game Viticulture is getting a co-op expansion. The players must work together and each achieve at least 25 victory points, as well as push the influence token all the way to the end to win the game. Viticulture World, as the expansion is called, shall introduce new mechanics, including 7 completely asymmetrical, unique continent decks. I'll admit I haven't played Viticulture in quite a while, so I don't know exactly what that means, but I think it boils down to everyone has unique abilities. Fans can pre-order Viticulture World starting June 22nd. Viticulture may not be as well known as Jamie Stegmaier's follow-up game Scythe or Stonemaier Games' Wingspan, but the winemaking game has a certain cult following. It remains in the top 30 of Board Game Geek. I also own a copy and can confirm it's pretty great. I can't wait to see how a cooperative version of this game will work. Cheers! Kickstarter Hereafter takes place in D&D's Afterlife. The big bad evil laughs triumphantly as the limp bodies of your adventurers lie before them, beaten, bruised, and bloodied. The players sigh and the Dungeon Master offers a weak apology. A TPK has ended the campaign. Or has it? Speaking of preparing to die, Sigil Entertainment Group has launched a Kickstarter for D&D supplement Hereafter, which begins where another story ends. Player characters wake up after being slain and find themselves in the afterlife, a world where demigods clash for souls to ascend to godhood. And our fallen heroes? They may just win themselves a chance at another life, if they play their cards right. Looks like it wasn't quite the dead end you expected. The Kickstarter will be going for another 12 days, and there's a preview of the rules in PDF form for those interested. Hereafter includes some rules for the afterlife, a new class called Tinker, and a campaign for level 6 players. But Sigil Entertainment points out that there will be a clear guidance for characters from levels 1 to 10. So, has your party recently been wiped out? But would you like to continue with the characters you've grown to love? Or do you just want to explore Hereafter and the afterlife it's created? Then, give this project a little look-see. Shut Up and Sit Down once again organizes a SHUX convention. After a long absence due to COVID, board game aficionados Shut Up and Sit Down are once again hosting SHUX in Vancouver, Canada. The convention will take place from September 30 to October 2nd. So if you've got some extra time on hand and you're from the politest country or are willing to fly, then shut up, sit down, and look at the ticket prices. If you don't know them, Shut 'em to Sit Down are excellent British board game reviewers / enthusiasts that love to share their passion with the world. Their in-depth insights in games really help fans get the measure of a game before they purchase it, and their excellent humor helps us not take things too seriously. Shut Up and Sit Down did organize a couple of digital conventions when traveling wasn't possible. Matthew Lees, one of the presenters and founding members of the channel, apologizes for not being able to also make that happen this year. They didn't have the time or resources. But they do intend to work on something in that vein in the future. Tiny Epic Vikings on its way to Kickstarter. Publisher Gambling Games of popular board game series Tiny Epic is bringing a new Viking-themed game to Kickstarter. The campaign launches on the 10th of May. 10 lucky fans will also be able to win a copy of the game. Instructions on how to win can be found on the link below. Tiny Epic is a line of pocket-sized, meeple-centric board games that are well-loved among fans. The quality may sometimes vary, so they're not always hits, but they do have hits such as Tiny Epic Galaxies and Tiny Epic Quest. That's all for today's Board Game Bits. Come back tomorrow for news on video games, or wait a week for more news on board games. Bye!